11th of August 2023. Welcome to Somalia's premier #1 station for news and updates. I'm your presenter Abdurrahman Yusuf. Tonight we have a couple of stories for you, but first let's take a look at the ones that are making our headlines. Somali forces destroy 3 Al-Shabaab holdout bases in Galmudug state. 8 dies suicide bombing in Hiran region, Somalia. ATMIS fetes outgoing officers for distinguished service in peacekeeping. Glad to have you back. Now let's delve into a full bulletin. The Somali security forces, with the assistance of the foreign allies in Geralheri district of the Galmudug state, carried out military operations to weed out Al-Shabaab fighters in the area. According to the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, the joint forces destroyed 7 vehicles, a weapons warehouse and a facility that housed medical equipment for the group when they attacked a garage where explosives were being set up. Here's a full story. Somali security forces, with the assistance of foreign allies in the Geralheri district of Galmudug state, carried out military operations to weed out Al-Shabaab fighters in the area. According to the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, the joint forces destroyed 7 vehicles, a weapons warehouse, and a facility that housed medical equipment for the group when they attacked a garage where explosives were being set up. The federal government expressed appreciation for the assistance received in the ongoing anti-Al-Shabaab operations in Galmudug and Hirshabelle from both the local populace and foreign allies. Separately, on Thursday in Dusamareb town, President of the Somalia Hassan Sheikh Mohamud and the President of Galmudug State Ahmed Abdi Qariye Qorqor presided over a meeting of the Council of Ministers at the federal and Galmudug state levels. The meeting covered a range of topics, including the current state of security, the short-term plan for liberating Al-Shabaab held areas, and the acceleration of the forceful mobilization efforts in Galmudug, with active participation from locals in the nation's liberation efforts. President Mohamud reiterated that the federal government has laid out a thorough anti-terrorism strategy that takes into account 3 important factors: the economy, ideological considerations, and frontline combat. He emphasized the start of the second phase of the operations is just around the corner. 8 people have now died as a result of the suicide bombing in Jalalaksi neighborhood in the Hiran region, officials announced on Friday. According to Nur Mohammed Nurdere, the district commissioner for Jalalaksi, 8 people, including his bodyguards, were killed in the attack and more than 10 others were hurt. A heart-rending story. 8 people have now died as a result of the Al-Shabaab suicide bombing in the Jalalaksi neighborhood of the Hiran region, officials announced on Friday. According to Nur Mohammed Nurdere, the district commissioner of Jalalaksi, 8 people, including his bodyguards, were killed in the attack and more than 10 others were hurt. The incident happened on Thursday in the late afternoon when a suicide bomber blew himself up in a tea shop where Nurdere was staying. Nurdere highlighted the fact that the bomber chose to target him because the explosion happened close to the chair where he had just left moments before. Residents claimed that before the bomb exploded, one of the commissioner's bodyguards shot the assailant. Among the deceased is a bodyguard. The district commissioner acknowledged the security personnel had detained a man who was allegedly the suicide bomber's mentor. Despite being forced out of Somalia's major towns and cities, Al-Shabaab still holds sway over a sizable portion of the country's rural areas. It has also continued to launch attacks against civilians and security agents, including in the nation's capital. 18 senior staff officers serving at the Africa Union Transition Mission in Somalia, ATMIS, were on Thursday decorated with the Africa Union medals for their distinguished service to the peacekeeping mission. The officers who have completed their 1-year tour of duty were awarded AU Medal of Honors, Pin of Gallantry and Certificate of Appreciations for their services in various capacities, including operations, logistics, medical and information, among others. 18 senior staff officers serving at the Africa Union Transition Mission in Somalia, ATMIS, were on Thursday decorated with Africa Union's medal for their distinguished service to the peacekeeping mission. The officers who have completed their 1-year tour of duty were awarded Africa Union Medals of Honor, Pins of Gallantry, and Certificates of Appreciation for their service in various capacities, including operations, logistics, medical and information, among others. Your contribution to this mission is highly appreciated, said Major General Marius Ngendabanka, the ATMIS Deputy Force Commander in charge of the operations and plans. Major General Ngendabanka, who represented the Africa Union Special Representative for Somalia, Ambassador Mohammed El Amin Saif and the Artemis Force Commander Lieutenant General Sam Okeding thanked the officers for their exceptional contribution to peace and stability in Somalia. The event held at the Artemis Force headquarters in Mogadishu was also attended by Artemis Deputy Force Commander Logistics and Support Major General Peter Kimani Muteti. 12 of the officers feted hail from Kenya. The other 6 officers come from Benin, Nigeria, Uganda and Zimbabwe. Among other notable achievements, the outgoing officers were instrumental in the operational success of the missions in the fight against the Al-Shabaab and the successful drawdown of 2,000 Artemis troops and the handover of the 6 forward operating bases to the Somali National Army in June. Lovely viewers, that Artemis story brings us to the end of our bulletin. Wherever you're tuned in from, have yourselves a lovely night. Wish to thank the Dalsan Media fraternity for making this news bulletin a success. Have yourselves a lovely night.